Okay guys, this is Tom here, and what I'm doing is making signs for my signals so I know what the numbers are. Before I had the sign mounted on the signal, but unfortunately the signals are pointing in a direction where I can't see the sign in some places. So I decided to make the sign and then create a post to put the sign in, and then I can put the sign in the layout next to the signal, and then I can see what the sign is. So what the number is, and that number that's on the sign is the number of the the lighted address. So that's how all my signals are addressed, with the lighteds. So right now I'm on Tinkercad, and I have to make two signs. So right there I got the basis sign that I use, and then I just copy and paste this thing and change the text. So over here on this side we have the text, and that number sign is 114. Well, I need to make that 138. So backspace, type in 138, hit enter. Now that's 138 there. It's hard to see because it's small. And then what I do is I highlight this, and then I group it. And then I highlight it again, and then I go over here and hit the duplicate and repeat key. I click on that. Now I have two of them, and I just highlight the one and drag it over to here. And then what I do is I highlight this, and I go over here to this menu and ungroup it so I can modify the text. And then I gotta click in this area until I see that there's a text, 138. So now this one is 238, and I hit enter. So now I got two signs, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name to Upper Grimsby. That's the name of the town. That's where all these signals are. -2, because I did the others and I forgot these two numbers, so I'm making these. So now if I hit enter, now I'm going to go over here and hit export, and that's going to come up with this dialog, and I click STL, and down there it's doing it, and up there it shows the file. So if I bring up my Explorer, there's that STL file. Now on my other screen I have to bring up Cure, and if I go here and the ultimate cure, bring that up. You don't care about my email, and I close that program down, and cure's coming up. It takes a minute for cure to load. And these signs are, the basis color is white, and the numbers are in red. So I'll show you what I do here in Cure. Then I'm going to pause the video, and then I'll be back when we go on to the printer. So over here, I'm just going to drag these over to the work spot place here. That's the build plate for the Vyper, and they're both there. And what I do is I go up in Cure and I go to preview, and over here, this bar here, that's layer 16. And if we make it bigger, then you can see the numbers, 138 and 238. Now, what I do is I drag this down until the numbers disappear, and that's at layer 12. But when I tried using layer 12, it still, when I changed the filament, it was printing a red top, and I didn't want that. The numbers are red, I want the top white. So then I bumped it up to level 13, and the numbers showed, but that still printed a red top. So I went to 14, and then that worked. So that's the level that I need to set up to pause the printer so I can change the filament. So how I do that is I go to extensions up on Cure, and I go down to post-processing, and I select modify G-code. Now I'll clear this out and then I'll show you what I do. When you come up with the post-processing scripts, you click on add script and you scroll down to filament change. You click on filament change, and then down here you notice that this appears. If I hit the X here, this is your normal Cure screen. That's the pause and start button for the slicer. I have it set up to automatically slice. If I'm doing some stuff, then I pause it and then I click on start again. And then that's how you slice in Cure. But if once we add a script, you'll see another icon appear down there, and I'll explain that after we get the script set up. So we hit add script, we select filament change, you make sure that this is checked, enable, and then here's your layer, and we chose layer 14. So now that's your post-processing script set up. So when the printer hits layer 14, it's going to pause the printer, lift the print head, and then you can swap out the filament. So we hit close, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to go over to the Vyper. I'm going to pull out the SD card. That's the SD card that I use for the Vyper. Go back here, and I'm going to place this in my computer. And we heard the device go in, and then we get us to a message from the drive to be backed up. Now, down here we have save to removable drive. The other options are save to disk, print to USB, because on my computer is plugged in directly with a USB cable to the Vyper, and that's required in order to do this process. So what we do is we save it to removable drive, and then you get a message here, file saved in removable drive G as this file name, and then you hit the eject button. Then you heard that the computer disconnected the USB device, which is this SD card. Now I'm going to put that back in the printer. Go over here, and they always put the pins up and then slide that in to your Vyper till it locks in place. Alright, so I got to do some prep work on the printer. I got to change the color out. I do have 2 spools. Created that other spool holder there the other day because I was tired of swapping the filament out, and this way I can have both colors there. There's my white for the base and red for the letters, and we'll go over that process when I come back. So we'll and plus my battery's running low, so I want to charge it up, and then I'll be back later and explain how this all works. So we'll see you then. Okay guys, we're ready to start printing this here. So we're going to hit the print button on the console here. It's print, prepare, tools, system, and we hit the print button. Then it brings up a list of all the files, and I got to scroll down to the very bottom here where that's the file that I just put on the disk, SD drive. And if I hit that, it turns red. And now we hit print. And some filament come out. I always just take my tweezers and grab that off. And what's happening now is the temperature of the bed is making its way up. It has to be 60. And the E0 temp, it has to be 230, which is set at 230 right now. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the values on there. And then once that hits 60 on the bed temp, the head will start moving and start printing. Then I'll pause the video. You don't have to wait until it goes through all 14 layers. And we just want to see it start to print. We got 51 degrees. It's 52. It won't be long. And now it's 54. It just takes a little while to warm up the bed. Here it goes. One more. There it goes. And that's the print head moving and the build plate moving, and then the head will move down to 0, and then it'll start going across and spitting out some filament. There it comes. Always just pull that off. Right now it's making the skirt that goes around the 2 pieces. And then it'll start printing them. Now it's starting to print the signs. There's the first one. And that's layer 1 on there. Now it's going to go back and forth 14 times to get the 14th level. So we'll be back when that gets to that point. We'll see you then. Okay guys, it's getting close. It's probably on layer 11 or 12 right now. And then when we see the numbers start to print, then we'll know it's at level 14. Okay, it's printing the numbers now. And now this printer is paused. It's moving the head up away from the model. So now I got to switch the filament, and I'll be back in a minute. All I do is pull this out, and then I can pull the white filament out. I gotta, this releases the gears, but I gotta use two hands. So I'll be back in a second after I get that removed, and then I'll show you what I do with the filament once it's in there. We'll be back in a little bit. Okay guys, my battery was running low again on the camcorder, so I decided to plug it in and stuff. So I think you can see that there's white filament at the bottom there, and what I do is I take my tweezers and remove it, and then what I do is I force in more of the red so that it pushes out the rest of it. You can see it dropping down. I see red coming out now too. Okay, you can see that. We'll just take this off again, and you can see the red is coming through. So now what we do is we've cleaned out all the white, and now we got the red there, and we go to the computer again. Hopefully I can manipulate this with they give you such a short cord on these camcorders. Okay, so this program, I have a shortcut right there, and it launches a program called Pronterface, and the port is COM6, and it's at 115200, and then you hit connect, which I already had connected, and you're going to see a lot of gobbledygook over here. That's just the printer sending signals back and forth. Now if we go here, and if I do, I'm going to be moving the camera, DEV for device manager, we're going to see under ports this device, USB serial CH340 COM6. So when this program comes up, it detects COM6. That's the baud rate, that 115200. Now what we do is, in order to get the printer to resume, we type in one command here, an uppercase M. Now my camera is a little wobbly here, but I'm going to hold it now. I type in uppercase M, of course the shift and the M is far apart, my fingers have to stretch, M 108, and then what I do is I click on the send button. Sending that code, we go over to the printer, and we see filament coming down, and I got to take that off. It's just spooling it out. It's like it's doing what I was doing, but I always like to make sure all the white comes out, because I didn't think this was going to do that. Now the head should move once the temperatures are okay. They are. You can see the head moving down, and now it's going to print red the numbers. And if anybody remembers what the two numbers were, 138 and 238. So as that's printing, Here on the desk, I have some that I already made. Over there, I have some already made. These are the posts, so I just put a little super glue on that and then put the sign on there, and then I put them in place. And they're still printing. It doesn't take long. It's only like 2 or 3 levels of number, so it's not that much, and it'll finish. And I'm going to see if I can unplug this, and then I'll take you to there. It just finished. So let's just unplug this. Hopefully I got enough charge on there. As we can see, okay guys, the battery died again on the camcorder. I must have a bad USB connection to get this thing to stay powered up. But there they are, 138 and 238. You can see them. And then I'm going to go over to the layout. I'm going to get through my office here, and I'll show you where I placed them, some of them, the other ones. There's an example, 152, so that's light at 152 address, and then there's one down there. That's 150 for that dwarf signal. You got some over there. We go over this side and we can see better. I got so much stuff going on in this train room right now with all the stuff I'm working on. There's one there, 32, 33. There's some inside here. There's 2 there, and one up there. So I've been laying them around the layout and getting them in place. Like I said, the signal signs I had on before were glued right to the back of this, and on the mask here. And this way I can come and I can look and I can see, instead of trying to look down the mask to see what it was. And so I'm going to change them all out and go from there. So that's it, folks. That's how I multicolor print on my Vyper. This should work on any MDM printer, that method, if you're using Cure or any of those other products to slice. But if anybody has a Vyper and they need help on this, just let me know. The biggest thing is you need a USB cable plugged into the computer so that you can run that prompter face program to send the M108 code to resume the print on the Vyper or any printer. Some printers may have this code in their firmware. Any Cubic for the Vyper does not, and we tried a different firmware and that didn't work. And Any Cubic support got back to me yesterday and they were telling me just watch the print. Well, I'm not going to sit here and watch every layer be printed. I want it to be done automatically, and I did that the first day when I printed the ones that you see on the layout there. I did that manually. I watched it. As soon as I saw the numbers start to print, I paused it, swapped out the filament, and went on. But that's a pain in the neck. Who wants to sit there and watch it? I want to print, go away, come back, and then continue. So that's it, folks. This is Tom. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you all in the next video. Everybody take care.